Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, and welcome to the Sri Vidya Temple's online classes in chanting. Today, we're going to be starting a quick series on the Khadgamala Stotram, or sometimes called as the Sri Devi Khadgamala Stotra Ratnam. So this is a very significant and important stotram in the practice of Sri Vidya. And the reason for that is that it's listing and honoring all of the Shaktis that are residing within the Sri Yantra. So within the Sri Yantra, of course, it is the Yantra for Sri Lalita Maha Tripura Sundari, and she is residing within the Yantra in the Bindu along with Sri Kameshwara, Lord Shiva. But in other parts of the Yantra, there are other emanations of her, different divine energies. And so they have names. And in the Khadgamala Stotram, we are going through each name of each of those deities that are residing in that place. So
one question,
why...
where can we get the notes for this Khadgamala?
The text of the Stotram? Okay, so in Devi Padakas, it's there. Otherwise, you can probably find it online. You can probably find a good version online, but it's also, yes, but it's also in the Devi Padakas book done by the temple.
Okay, ma'am. I have that book, I'll see.
You have that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Devi Padakas book I have.
Okay. All right. So that's why it's very significant. So some may be wondering if it's okay for anyone to chant this, and the answer is yes. There may be some paramparas that give the guidance that you should have Sri Vidya Diksha in order to chant this. But in our parampara, it's not needed to have Diksha. Any devotee of Divine Mother can recite this stotram. So it can be recited as a stotram, and it can also be recited as a namavali, where you would be doing archana and chanting each name as a mantra. So either one can be done. You can just recite plainly as a stotram, or you can do a small puja by offering kumkumam or flowers, silver flowers, akshatas, that kind of thing, whatever you have in front of Divine Mother by addressing these names. So both of those can be done.
And the book, it is 146, page number 146, right, ma?
Let me see. I'm not yes, it's 146 in the English version.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, that is actually, I think it starts on 145 in the English version.
In my book, it's 146. Okay.
Okay, no problem. All right.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. So before I start with the chanting portion, I just want to very briefly show the Sri Yantra so that people may have some context. So I will just share my screen. Okay, so this is showing a drawing of the Sri Yantra, where you can see the locations of the Shaktis. So wherever you see a colored circle with a number inside it, that is a location of one of the Khadgamala Devis or Shaktis. And these are arranged as avaranas. Avarana is like a veil or one layer or level. So these are just sort of like divisions within the Sri Yantra. So you can see that one of the avaranas is like this ring of lotus petals with the blue numbers. Then there's one more in the orange color. You can see that. And then if you go within the triangle area, you can see the purple is one more. So people may wonder, why do we call this as the Khadgamala Stotram? Khadga literally means a sword, and mala, of course, means a garland. So people may have some different ideas, and there's some different symbolism here, but one thing was explained to me by Sri Karunamayi Amma. She's one Holy Mother who recommends this Khadgamala Stotram very, very much. So what she described is, if you look at this, so this purple, these purple circles, it seems to be like a ring. And that ring seems to be like a garland or a mala. And if you look at the triangles here, each triangle, it has a kind of pointy edge. So there's kind of like a point pointing out. So in a way, we can visualize these avaranas as like a garland of swords. So these are not physical swords, obviously, they're subtle swords. And the significance is that there's a very subtle and very piercing, powerful energy that's radiating out of all of these devis that are in these triangles. And it's a little bit like a sword-like quality. So that energy is radiating out, and it's very, very subtle and very sharp in a sense, but what it's cutting is not something physical. It's entering into our subtle body, and it's cutting anything that is holding us back. So in a sense, whatever impurities we have, whatever doshas, whatever negative karmas we may have, it's residing in our subtle body. And it's basically holding us back and preventing us from having a fully auspicious life or from merging with the mother. So these swords are like subtle energies that are cutting through all of those limitations and all of those subtle bondages. So that is one way of thinking about why we call this as a Khadgamala Stotram, sort of a garland of divine subtle swords. Okay, so I just wanted to show that to give a little bit of context for when we start the chanting. All right, so now I will stop sharing. Okay. All right, so we're going to be doing the Stotram version, which is in Devi Padakas, if you have that. So I think maybe can we start with Anupama Amma, if you are able to repeat the lines first?
Yes, Amma.
Okay. Let me turn up my Shruti just a little bit. Om Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti
Om Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti. Om Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti.
Sambuddhyantamala
Sambuddhyantamala. Sambuddhyantamala.
Mahamantrasya
Mahamantrasya. Mahamantrasya.
Right. Om Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti Sambuddhyantamala Mahamantrasya
Om Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti Sambuddhyantamala Mahamantrasya. Om Asya Shri Shuddha Shakti Sambuddhyantamala Mahamantrasya.
Upasthendriyadhishtayi
Upasthendriyadhishtayi. Upasthendriyadhishtayi.
Varunaditya Rashihi
Varunaditya Rishihi. Varunaditya Rishihi.
Upasthendriyadhishtayi Varunaditya Rashihi
Upasthendriyadhishtayi Varunaditya Rishihi. Upasthendriyadhishtayi Varunaditya Rishihi.
Devi Gayatri Chandaha
Devi Gayatri Chandaha. Devi Gayatri Chandaha.
Satvika Kakara
Satvika Kakara. सात्विककार
भट्टारकपीठस्थित
भट्टारकपीठस्थित भट्टारकपीठस्थित.
So here, the Mahapranas are in Bha, in Bhattaraka. So there's no Ta sound. It's just Bhattaraka, and then Ta in Pita, and then Ti in Sthita. Okay, so I'll do that one more time. Satvika Kakara Bhattaraka Pithasthita.
सात्विककार भट्टारकपीठस्थित सात्विककार भट्टारकपीठस्थित.
Good. So everything sounds good. It just sounds in the Bhattaraka, it sounds a little bit like Ba is coming as regular,
Oh.
like Alpa Prana, and then
Oh.
Ta is coming like Mahaprana. So
Okay.
just keep in mind the Bha is the Mahaprana,
Ah.
and then Ta is
Ah.
Alpa Prana. Okay? Just
I'll do it one
like
more
that.
time, Mama. I'll do it.
Sure.
सात्विककार भट्टारकपीठस्थित सात्विककार भट्टारकपीठस्थित.
Good. That's it. Srimatkameshwarankanilaya.
श्रीमत्कामेश्वराङ्कनिलया श्रीमत्कामेश्वराङ्कनिलया
Srimatkameshwari Devata.
श्रीमत्कामेश्वरी देवता श्रीमत्कामेश्वरी देवता.
Okay, so this is all one long line, so I'll do the full line. Satvika Kakara Bhattaraka Pithasthita Srimatkameshwarankanilaya Srimatkameshwari Devata.
सात्विककार भट्टारकपीठस्थित श्रीमत्कामेश्वराङ्कनिलय श्रीमत्कामेश्वरी देवता. सात्विककार भट्टारकपीठस्थित श्रीमत्कामेश्वराङ्कनिलया श्रीमत्कामेश्वरी देवता.
Aim Bijam Klim Shaktihi Sauhu Kilakam.
ऐं बीजं क्लीं शक्तिः सौः कीलकम्. ऐं बीजं क्लीं शक्तिः सौः कीलकम्.
Sri Devi Prityarthe.
श्रीदेवी प्रीत्यर्थे श्रीदेवी प्रीत्यर्थे
Khadgasiddhyarthe Jape Vinyogaha.
खड्गसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः खड्गसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः.
Sri Devi Prityarthe Khadgasiddhyarthe Jape Vinyogaha.
श्रीदेवी प्रीत्यर्थे खड्गसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः श्रीदेवी प्रीत्यर्थे खड्गसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः.
Good. Okay, so that's the Vinyoga. Okay. I was thinking to skip the Nyasa since it's essentially the same as what we've done for Lalita Sahasranama. So we'll just skip over the Shadanga Nyasa and the Hridaya Nyasa. You can refer to the Lalita Sahasranama class for that pronunciation. And then we'll go on to the Dhyanam.
Can you say one time, Mama, so that the Nyasa also.
The Nyasam, just okay. So
Just one time, because
Okay,
I missed
sure.
the previous class.
Okay, no problem. So I'll just chant it And I'm assuming that people know how to do
Yeah,
Nyasa. We've
just,
covered that in other classes, but I'll just chant it once through.
yeah, thank you, Ma.
Sure. Aim Angushtabhyam Namaha. Klim Tarjanibhyam Namaha. Sauh Madhyamabhyam Namaha. Aim Anamikabhyam Namaha. Klim Kanishthikabhyam Namaha. Sauh Karatalakaraprishthabhyam Namaha. Aim Hridayaya Namaha. Klim Shirase Svaha. Sauh Shikhayai Vashat. Aim Kavachaya Hum. Klim Netratrayaya Vaushat. Sauh Astraya Phat. Bhuh Bhuvah Suvah. Om Iti Digbandhaha. Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you, Ma.
Sure, no problem. Okay, so for the Dhyanam, Rupa Amma, are you available to chant the lines? Let's see.
Yes,
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, so do you have the copy in Devi Padakas?
yes, I have it in English.
Okay, sure. All right, so we'll start with the first Dhyana shloka. Just a second. All right, so the first shloka given, and sometimes there are different variations. Sometimes different shlokas will be given for Dhyanam. This is the one that we typically do. The first one is in like a regular Anushtup Chandas. So just like any Lalita Sahasranama shloka. So we'll chant it in that way. And then the next one is a longer chandas. But it's just like a dhyana shloka from Durga Saptashati or something like that. So we'll chant it in that style. Okay, but starting with the first line. Tadrusham khatkamapnoti.
Tadrusham Khadgamapnoti. Tadrusham Khadgamapnoti.
Good. Yena hastasthitena vai.
Yena haste stitena vai. Yena hastas or hastes?
Hasta.
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 Yena hastastitena vai. Yena hastastitena vai.
So the shloka, the hasta, is actually ending in a hrasva. I may have said it more like a dirgha, but it's just hasta. The final ta is hrasva. So there's holding on the is in sthitena. So we say it like hastasthitena, hastasthitena. Okay, I'll do it one more time. Yena hastasthitena vai.
Yena hastasthitena vai. Yena hastasthitena vai.
Good, that's it. Now the full line. Tadrusham khatkamapnoti yena hastasthitena vai.
Tadrusam khadgamapnoti yena hastasthitena vai. Tadrusam khadgamapnoti yena hastasthitena vai.
Good. Ashtadasha mahadvipa.
Ashtadasa mahadvipa. Ashtadasa mahadvipa.
Good. It sounded a little bit like the ashta was coming out like ashta. So there's no mahaprana there. It's just ashta, ashta. Okay. So we call that as alpa prana, which is regular sound and not the mahaprana.
Can I repeat it?
Sure.
Ashtadasa mahadvipa. Ashtadasa mahadvipa.
Good. That's it. Samrat Bhokta Bhavishyati.
Samrat Bhokta Bhavisyati. Samrat Bhokta Bhavisyati.
Okay, so in Bhokta, we have a dirgha in the ta. Bhokta and then Bhavishyati. Samrat Bhokta Bhavishyati.
Samrat Bhokta Bhavisyati. Samrat Bhokta Bhavisyati.
Good. So I think you mentioned you have the English version, right?
Yes, Amma.
And normally you read from the Tamil script. We actually have this ebook in the Tamil script, I believe. So if you like using this book, you might want to see the Tamil version. So one thing is that in the word bhavishyati, the S has a little dot underneath it. So in English transliteration, that's telling us that that sound is a sh sound, like the sh in Purusha or Vishnu.
Okay.
Okay. So I could hear that you were pronouncing it more like a regular sa
Yes.
sound. And I know that's because you're not familiar with the English,
Yes.
the diacritics for English transliteration. So I just want to point out that that should be bhavishyati. Okay,
Bhavishyati.
with a sh, like Rishi or Vishnu and so on. Okay, so now I'll do the full line. अष्टादश महाद्वीप सम्राट् भोक्ता भविष्यति.
अष्टादशा महाद्वीप सम्राट् भोक्ता भविष्यति. अष्टादश महाद्वीप सम्राट् भोक्ता भविष्यति.
Good. So I think it'll be easier for you if you can see it in the Tamil script because you'll see more clearly which are dirgha sounds and so on. Okay. All right. So now we can go on to the next shloka. Hriṅkārāsana-garbhita nalashikhaṁ.
ह्रीङ्कारसन गर्भितान् नलशिखाम्. ह्रीङ्कारसन गर्भितानालशिखाम्.
Good. And here the bhi in garbhita is mahaprana and ka in shikham is mahaprana. Okay, I just want to point that out. So klim kalam bibhratim.
Sauklim kalam bipradim. Sauklim kalam bipradim.
Good. Now I'll do the full section. Hriṅkārāsana-garbhita nalashikhaṁ sauklīಂ kalam bibhratim.
ह्रीङ्कारसन गर्भितानलशिखाम्. सौक्लीं खलां बिप्रदीम्. ह्रीङ्कारसन गर्भितानलशिखाम्. सौक्लीं खलां बिप्रदीम्.
Good. Sauvarnambaradhariणीं varasudha.
सौवर्णां भरदारिणीं वरसुधा. सौवर्णां भरदारिणीं वरसुधा.
धौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलां.
धौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलां. धौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलां.
Good. Sauvarnambaradhariणीं varasudha dhautan trinetroज्ज्वलां.
सवर्णाम्बराधारिणीं वरसुधाधौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलाम् सवर्णाम्बराधारिणीं वरसुधाधौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलाम्.
Amma here, Trinetrot, throat, TH, it should come Trinetrot or Trinetrot. I mean, we have to.
You're looking at the English.
No, Telugu, Amma.
Telugu spelling. Okay. This is regular ta. Netra.
Regular ta. Okay.
Regular. So it's like there's a bit of fireworks going on. I hope it's not too loud. There's always something. So right. Trinetroj. So both
Troj.
ta,
Okay. Yeah.
it's a regular ta, not mahaprana, but
Okay.
it's a dantya.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like Saraswati ta sound. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, so now we can do the next part, Rupa Amma. Vande pustaka pashamankushadharam.
Vande pushtagapashangushadharam. Vande pushtagapashangushadharam.
Okay, I think depending on the version you're looking at, I just want to correct a couple of the words. So pustaka is a regular sound. Pustaka. And then the next word is pashamankushadharam. So it's made up of pasham, ankusha, and then dharam. Pashamankushadharam. So there may be a typo in your...
Pashamangusha.
Yes.
Or angusha. Pashamangusha.
It's a ka. So if you think of ka, ga, gha in the series, it's the first one.
Okay.
Anku. Okay. Like cat. Like
Yes.
cat and cat. Okay. Ankusha. Pashamankusha dharam. Okay, so I will chant that again. Vande pustaka pashamankushadharam.
Vande pustagapashangushadharam. Vande pustagapasa ankushadharam.
Sragbhushitamujjvalam.
Srigbhushitam ujjvalam.
Good. So the spelling is, it's actually sra in srag, not srig. Okay, so just want to point out that in case it's a typo in your copy. Sragbhushitamujjvalam. Sragbhushitamujjvalam.
Srigbhushitam ujjvalam. Okay.
Okay. All right, so now I'll do the full line. Vande pustaka pashamankushadharam sragbhushitamujjvalam.
Vande pustagapasamangushadharam sragbhushitam ujjvalam. Vande pustagapasamangushadharam sragbhushitam ujjvalam.
Good. Okay, now the last line. Twang Gaurim Tripuram Parat Parakalam.
Tvam Gaurim Tripuram Parakalam. Tvam Gaurim Tripuram Parakalam.
Sri Chakra Sancharini.
Sri Sancharinam Sri Sancharinam.
Good. Now I'll do the full line. Twang Gaurim Tripuram Parakalam Shri Chakra Sancharinam.
Tuvam Gaurim Tripuram Parat Parakalam Sri Chakra Sancharinim. Tuvam Gaurim Tripuram Parat Parakalam Sri Chakra Sancharinim.
Good. Very good. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will chant both shlokas myself, and I'll go through them 2 times so that everyone can have a practice. Tadrusham khatkamapnoti yena hastasthitena vai ashtadasha mahadvipa samrat bhokta bhavishyati. ह्रीङ्कारसनगर्भितानलशिखां सौः क्लीं कलां बिभ्रतीं सौवर्णाम्बरधारिणीं वरसुधाधौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलाम् वन्दे पुस्तकपाशमङ्कुशधरां स्रग्भूषितामुज्ज्वलाम् त्वां गौरीं त्रिपुरां परकलां श्रीचक्रसञ्चारिणीम्. And one more time. तादृशं खड्गमाप्नोति येन हस्तस्थितेन वै अष्टादशमहाद्वीपसम्राट् भोक्ता भविष्यति. ह्रीङ्कारसनगर्भितानलशिखां सौः क्लीं कलां बिभ्रतीं सौवर्णाम्बरधारिणीं वरसुधाधौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलाम् वन्दे पुस्तकपाशमङ्कुशधरां स्रग्भूषितामुज्ज्वलाम् त्वां गौरीं त्रिपुरां परकलां श्रीचक्रसञ्चारिणीम्. Okay, so these are the verses that we chant as Dhyanam. The very first one is not really in the style of a Dhyanam. It's a little bit more like a Phalashruti, something that's telling us the benefit of chanting, where it's indicating that whoever is chanting this Khadgamala, they'll attain a sword to hold in the hand. By holding this divine sword in the hand, what they'll attain is that they will enjoy the mastery or the rulership over the Ashtadasha Mahadvipa. So these are like the 18 continents. So it's kind of like, literally, it's indicating being like a world master, but that's not the real meaning. It's indicating these 18 continents are really our own self, our own body, mind, and energy. So when we chant this Khadgamala and we get the blessings of that Supreme Divine Mother, she gives us a sword to hold in our hand, but it's not for like a military campaign. It's to cut through all of the bondages that are holding us back and achieve that divine mastery over our own self. So that is the indicating the main blessing of this. And also by chanting this Stotram, it's a very powerful and divine protection. So it's protecting us from the inner enemies. If we think of the Arishad Vargas like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, and so on, greed, anger, jealousy, all of the inner enemies, but it's also protecting us from a lot of things that might happen to us externally, like natural disasters, fires, any urgent crisis or emergency. It's very good to chant the Stotram every day. It only takes about maybe 5 or 6 minutes once it's learned well. So it's very easy to do it every day, and it provides a very powerful protection from Divine Mother. Okay, so when we start the actual stotram, the very first thing is traditional to recite some bija mantras. I'm going to skip over that. So this is actually Om Aim Hrim Shrim plus the Bala Navakshari mantra here. So whoever has Sri Vidya Diksha would chant this line. If not, they would just go on to the next part where it starts Om Namas Tripura Sundari. That's where the stotram is starting. So let's see, is anyone able to repeat the names after me? So Sailaja Amma, if you want to unmute yourself. Okay. So I'll start from Om Namas Tripura Sundari. Om Namas Tripura Sundari.
Om Namastripura Sundari. Om Namastripura Sundari.
Good. And here in the stotram, there's no set melody. It's not like chanting a Sahasranama stotram or Veda mantras. There's no melody, there's no swaras. So whatever I'm chanting, I'm just making it up. So however anyone wants to chant it on their own, they can definitely do that. I'm just chanting it in any way I can think of. Hridaya Devi.
Hridaya Devi. Hridaya Devi.
Shiro Devi.
Shiro Devi. Shiro Devi.
Shikha Devi.
Shikha Devi. Shikha Devi.
Kavacha Devi.
Kavacha Devi. Kavacha Devi.
Netra Devi.
Netra Devi. Netra Devi.
Astra Devi.
Astra Devi. Astra Devi.
Kameshwari.
Kameshwari. Kameshwari.
Good. So here in this name, we're all very familiar with this name. So we've heard it many times in a casual way. If we look at it, we can see that there's one place with holding after dirgha. So the eshva, eshva, a is a dirgha vowel, and then we have
Eshwari.
shva, which is a conjunct akshara or a sanyukta akshara. So it's more like Kameshwari, Kameshwari. There's a little bit of holding.
Okay, okay. Kameshwari.
Good. So again, these are we've heard these names in many contexts, and so we're used to hearing and saying them a certain way. But when we're chanting, we definitely want to chant them according to the rules of chanting. Okay. So now the next one. Bhagamalini.
Bhagamalini. Bhagamalini.
Nityaklinne.
Nityaklinne. Nityaklinne.
Bherunde.
Bherunde. Bherunde.
Vanhivasini.
Vahnivasini. Vahnivasini.
So here you may have,
Vahni,
depending on, so in different parts of India, they may pronounce this sound differently. If somebody is chanting Krishna Yajurveda, or they live in an area where that Veda is very common, the pronunciation of that is actually Vanhi, Vanhi, and it's Vanhi. So it's just like when we say Brahma, even though it's written as HM, we pronounce it as Brahma. And the reason for that is that when chanting Krishna Yajurveda, there's a specific rule mentioned where if you have ha followed by a nasal sound, so it could be ma, na, or na, and so on, then the pronunciation is switched. So the spelling is correct. The H comes first. That is the grammatical correct spelling. But the pronunciation is that we switch it. So it would be like Brahma or Brahman. Vanhi is another example. Those are the ones that I can think of right now. So that's how we typically pronounce it, because we're primarily chanting from the Krishna Yajurveda. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now we'll do the next
So
one.
it comes like one nivasini. Right?
You want to hear the he, Vanhi,
Yeah.
Vanhivasini.
Okay. One hivasini.
That's it. Okay, now the next one. Mahavajreshwari.
Mahavajreshwari. Mahavajreshwari.
Good. And here, notice again the holding after dirgha in Vajreshwari. Eshwari. Mahavajreshwari.
Mahavajreshwari. Mahavajreshwari.
Good. Shivaduti.
Sivaduti. Sivaduti.
Tvarite.
Tvarite. Tvarite.
Kulasundari.
Kolasundari. Kolasundari.
Nitye.
Nitye. Nitye.
Nilapatake.
Nilapatake. Nilapatake.
Vijaye.
Vijaye. Vijaye.
Sarvamangale.
Sarvamangale. Sarvamangale.
Jwalamalini.
Jwalamalini. Jwalamalini.
Chitre.
Chitre. Chitre.
Mahanitye.
Mahanitye. Mahanitye.
Good. Parameshvara. Parameshvari.
Parameshvara. Parameshwari. Parameshvara. Parameshwari.
Mitreshamahi.
Mitreshamayi. Mitreshamayi.
Shashtishamahi.
Sashtishamai, Sashtishamai.
Good. So take a look at this name. It begins with the sh sound, like Rishi or Vishnu. So it's shash, and then tisha, tisha. So that T is a Mahaprana. Shashtishamai.
Okay.
Okay.
Shashtishamai, Shashtishamai.
Good. Uddishamahi.
Uddisamai, Uddisamai.
Charyanathamai.
Charyanathamai, Charyanathamai.
Lopamutramahi.
Lopamudramai, Lopamudramai.
Agastyamahi.
Agastyamayi, Agastyamayi.
Kalatapanamahi.
Kalatapanamayi, Kalatapanamayi.
Dharmacharyamahi.
Dharmacharyamayi, Dharmacharyamayi.
Muktakeshishvaramahi.
Muktakeshishvaramayi, Muktakeshishvaramayi.
Deepakalanatamahi.
Deepakalanatamayi, Deepakalanatamayi.
Vishnudevamahi.
Vishnudevamayi, Vishnudevamayi.
Prabhakaradevamahi.
Prabhakara Devamayi, Prabhakara Devamayi,
Tejo Devamahi,
Tejo Devamayi, Tejo Devamayi,
Manoja Devamahi,
Manoja Devamayi, Manoja Devamayi,
Kalyana Devamahi,
Kalyana Devamayi, Kalyana Devamayi,
Vasudevamahi,
Vasudevamayi, Vasudevamayi,
Ratnadevamahi,
Ratnadevamayi, Ratnadevamayi,
Sri Ramanandamahi.
Sri Ramanandamayi, Sri Ramanandamayi.
Good. So now you can mute yourself and I will chant through the entire section and I'll do it twice so that everyone can practice the flow. Om Namastripura Sundari Hridaya Devi Shiro Devi Shikha Devi Kavacha Devi Netra Devi Astra Devi Kameshwari Bhagamalini Nityaklinde Bherunde Vanhivasini Mahavajreshwari Shivaduti Tvarite Kulasundari Nitye Nilapatake Vijaye Sarvamangale Jwalamalini Chitre Mahanitye Parameshwara Parameshwari Mitreshamai Shashtishamai Uddishamai Charyanathamai Lopamutramahi Agastyamahi Kalatapanamahi Dharmacharyamahi Muktakeshishwaramahi Deepakalanathamahi Vishnudevamahi Prabhakaradevamahi Tejodevamahi Manojadevamahi Kalyanadevamahi Vasudevamahi Ratnadevamahi Sri Ramanandamahi. Now I'll do it one more time, just a little bit faster. Om Namastripura Sundari Hridaya Devi Shiro Devi Shikha Devi Kavacha Devi Netra Devi Astra Devi Kameshwari Bhagamalini Nityaklinde Bherunde Vanhivasini Mahavajreshwari Shivaduti Tvarite Kulasundari Nitye Nilapatake Vijaye Sarvamangale Jwalamalini Chitre Mahanitye Parameshwara Parameshwari Mitreshamai Shashtishamai Uddishamai Charyanathamai Lopamutramahi Agastyamahi Kalatapanamahi Dharmacharyamahi Muktakeshishwaramahi Deepakalanathamahi Vishnudevamahi Prabhakaradevamahi Tejodevamahi Manojadevamahi Kalyanadevamahi Vasudevamahi Ratnadevamahi Sri Ramanandamahi. Okay, so that's the first section of the Stotram. And so in this section, we haven't actually gotten to the first Avaranam within the Sri Yantra, but these are some important divine energies and gurus that we are honoring before we approach the Sri Yantra. So in the beginning, we have like Hridaya Devi, Shiro Devi, Shikha Devi. So you must be recognizing that from the Anga Nyasa that we do, Hridayaya Namaha, Shikhaye Vashat, and so on. So we're honoring the Anga Devatas. And then we come to the Nitya Kala Devis, the Nitya Kala deities. So these are deities that are associated with the phases of the moon, from the first phase all the way up to the full moon. And then we're also honoring a number of gurus, Sri Vidya gurus, and they're associated with 3 forms known as Divyauga, Siddhauga, and Manavauga. And that has been explained very thoroughly by Shankaraya in another class that was done a little bit ago on the locations of the Khadgamala deities in the Sri Yantra. So maybe we can post a link to the registration form for that class in the WhatsApp group, because he went into a lot of detail on all of these forms. Okay, so as we're chanting this, we're in a sense calling out to each of these forms, each of these divine Sri Vidya gurus. And so we're making a small connection with each of these forms as we say each name. So every time we make that connection, we're receiving more and more blessings to proceed or enter into the path of Sri Vidya. So like I was saying in the beginning, this stotram does not require Sri Vidya mantra diksha to practice. And it's actually a very good thing to practice if anybody does not have diksha, but they want that. So if they don't want it, that's also fine. They can just chant this and Lalita Sahasranamam, and they'll get many, many blessings. But if somebody does specifically want Sri Vidya Diksha, and they have not yet received that, this is a really, really helpful and important stotram for them to learn and also chant on a regular basis, because it will give them the divine and subtle connection that they need in order to enter into the path of Sri Vidya and make good progress there. So it's just about 8:30, so I will stop there, but I'll just check if anybody has any questions on what we've done so far. Okay, so it sounds like everyone is all clear. So in the next week's class, we'll start from the Prathama Varanam. Okay, and we'll continue from there. So Sri Gurubhyo
Amma.
Namaha.
Thank you, Amma.
Yes.
Thank
Sri
you.
Gurubhyo Namaha.
Was there a question?
Amma, can you sing the first part, Ashir Shri Sukta Saktimala, one more time, please?
Sure. Okay. So I will go back to the beginning and I will, so just that part, and then no need for the nyasas?
Yeah, just that part to hear one more time, only if you have the time. Otherwise, I can hear from the recording.
No problem. I'll just do it one more time a little bit quickly. Om Asya Sri Shuddha Shakti Sambudhyantamala Mahamantrasya Upasthendriyadhishtayi Varunaditya Rishihi Devi Gayatri Chandaha Satvika Kakara Bhattaraka Pithasthita Shrimat Kameshwarankanilaya Shrimat Kameshwari Devata Aim Bijam Klim Shaktihi Sauhu Kilakam Sri Devi Prityarthe Khatka Siddhyarthe Jape Viniyogaha.
Thank you so much, Amma.
Sure, no problem. Okay, So, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you
Sri
for joining.
Gurubhyo Namaha.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Amma.
Thank you, Amma.